It's the last day of Vivid, which is a spectacular light show that Sydney puts on every year. It's currently 4:30 p.m, which means that by the time we get to the spot, it's going to be well and truly dark, which is perfect because today I'm going to teach you how to create a Cinemagraph. The reason why we're at this location here is I'm looking for a puddle to create reflections of the lights, because the Harbour Bridge changes lights and I want it to reflect in the puddle. That's like the main reason why we're looking for a puddle. But it hasn't rained for a little bit, so there's not that many puddles, and I only have this much water.
I mean, it's not a lot, but...
But we need a big enough puddle that we can at least get some reflections and the subject as well.
If we can just fill one up.
Oh, it looks nice to drink.
Got a nice little blue tint to it, mate. Let's go. We found a nice little puddle here. Well, sorry, not a puddle, but like a crevice in the ground that we're gonna fill up and hopefully it doesn't drain. So what we're creating is a fake reflection. So when the subject is there, get a reflection of that as well as the Harbour Bridge. So, Jesse, you just...
It's actually a real reflection. Man-made.
Man-made reflection.
That will work, sure.
So what I'm doing now is actually just pre-framing the shot before I set everything up, because once it's set up, it's actually harder to move things around. So I'm just taking my camera off tripod, moving around, finding the frame, then we set it up, and then we start shooting. So we found a new spot, we've set it up, we're pre-checked, I've got my settings, and now we're gonna get the first photo of Jason standing in his position, then we're gonna cut him out later. Because it's a bit dark, we're just gonna use the light that we got lighting me up now to light Jason up just for this one photo. Okay, so now that we've got the photo of the subject, what we're gonna do is set the interval timer and then get the time lapse.
To capture a clean time lapse, there are a few things you need to do first. 1. Set your camera to manual focus, so your camera doesn't hunt between photos. 2. Choose aperture priority mode. 3. Set ISO between 100 to 3200, depending on how dark the shot is. And 4. Set your interval timer between 3 to 5 seconds and unlimited shots.
Okay, so the time lapse is done. Now we're gonna go to post. We've taken the photo of the subject, we've taken a photo of the time lapse. We're gonna go to the computer, we'll put it all together, and I'll show you how to do that.
Back at the office, and I've imported all my photos into Lightroom. You can use whatever photo editor you like, it doesn't matter, the same concept applies. But for these photos, there isn't much that needs to be edited, mainly just contrast and exposure with a splash of color in the shadows and highlights. Now you've made your initial edit, select all your photos with Command or Control A, and select the main photo which has your edit applied and click Sync Settings. An option box will pop up where you can select the edit settings you want to sync. This will copy your edit across all your photos. Since the time-lapse doesn't have any lighting changes like a day to night time-lapse, this is a much faster, more effective way of editing. Once your edits are synced, export them to your hard drive and open your subject photo in your photo editor of choice. For this tutorial, I'll be using Photoshop. I know AI tools are getting more powerful by the day, and if you have any recommendations for some to check out, put a comment below and I'll make a video about them. Now, we need to extract the subject from the background and put him on a transparent layer. This is key. I've already done this, but you can use the subject select tool with a mix of masking to clean up the edges and make a more refined selection. Once the subject is extracted to a separate layer, save this image as a PNG. Keep in mind when extracting the subject, it is important to keep the subject photo and time-lapse photo dimensions the same, so when placing the subject on top of the time-lapse, they line up perfectly. Open your video editor. Here I am using DaVinci Resolve, but this will work with Final Cut, Premiere Pro, and any other video editor. The concept is the same. Now drag your photos into the media pool, and as you can see, they already come in as a video sequence where other editors, your results may vary. Drag them onto your timeline, create a compound clip. I'm only doing this because I have 2 sequences. You won't need to do this. And when you hit playback, the performance will be shocking. To resolve this, right-click and select Render in Place. This will render out a compound clip into a playable video file. And just like that, boom, smooth playback. Now our time-lapse video is done. Let's take our subject and place him on top. Ta-da! You've just made a Cinemagraph. Now, there are many ways to create a Cinemagraph, whether you've captured a little portion of video instead of photos, but for me, I find a time-lapse allows for unlimited creativity when it comes to creating a Cinemagraph. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll be working on more YouTube videos to come, so keep your eyes peeled. This will be a creative space. If you have any creative questions about either photo or video, leave a comment below and I'll be sure to reply and even make another tutorial. Stay creating.